Welcome to the Bigger Room podcast. I'm your host, Jill Bender. Today I'm running solo. Mel had some computer issues that she could not fix, so she asked me to record an episode, so we're going to do this all by ourselves today. As many of you know, I got my big break. Mel did too, 2023, after years of trying many different ways to make money online. And in 2023, was an amazing year. But what we learned in 2024 is that we didn't build a foundation in 2023. We just modeled what works and cashed in on huge dollar amounts, but we never created our own personal brand. And yes, we are the brand. You are the brand. If you're on camera and it's you, you're the brand. But when we just modeled other people's videos, which is what we were taught to do because it worked. When we just modeled other people's videos, that didn't teach us how to have our own voice. And I believe that for sure hurt me in my business. I can't speak for Mel. So 2025, not only if you're an online influencer is a personal brand absolutely necessary, even if you work for a traditional style company, you need to build your brand. In 2025, the internet is saturated with content. Much of it's generated by AI. Without a strong personal brand, you risk blending into the background and becoming invisible in a crowded space. That personal brand is going to help you stand out, making you more memorable and relevant in an era where first impressions are often formed online. And this also ties into when you work for a traditional company. Employers in traditional industries are no longer solely focused on credentials of years or experience. They are increasingly looking for candidates who demonstrate influence, relevance, and adaptability. These qualities often showcased through personal branding and online presence. So a strong personal brand is going to signal that a candidate is proactive, engaged, and capable of building relationships, which are critical for leadership and innovation in any field. Even in traditional careers, being visible online can lead to opportunities such as promotions, partnerships, and leadership roles. Employers want professionals who can represent their company effectively both online and off. When I blew up in 2023, I was getting ready to quit my job. I thought there was only one person in my company who knew what I personally did. Like I actively, openly spoke to her, and she knew that I was building this career and I was eventually going to quit my job. But the day that I spoke with my boss and I said, I'm going to quit, and she said, "Ooh, what are you going to do?" Asking me like, "Where are you going? Did you get another opportunity?" And I said, I don't really want to, said, I don't really feel comfortable discussing that. And she said, okay. And then she said something along the lines like, hey, so I heard this crazy story about you. Or no, she said, I saw a video of you online talking about how you can make money and I don't know. There was a lot of like mindset stuff that she mentioned and I just started laughing and I said, "Well, that is my opportunity." And so then we openly, for the most part, openly talked about what it is that I was doing. She already knew. I think a bunch of people, now that I look back at it, already knew what I was doing. But what she had said to me was, she said, I am just blown away impressed. That I am so impressed. Like you could be somebody's, you could be a coach, you could be a mindset coach. And at the time I was only sharing how to make money online videos. But mindset is, without me knowing, mindset had always been something really important to me. I was like, yeah, that is where I want to go. Like, that's the direction I would love to take this. And it meant so much that she said that to me. But it made her see me in a completely different way than I had been showing up for work. I showed up for work. I did the same things over and over. Like we get kind of, in a routine. And my personality in person, because I've often been shy, I've been insecure. My personality in person was a bit different than my personality online. So she was able to see this incredible side of me where I am full of excitement. I am motivating people. I'm inspiring people. I'm talking with with knowledge that I have on the subject, and it was really cool to see myself through her eyes and that observation. So this is just an example of how my online presence, even though it was hidden, so I thought, was still making an impact on how she was perceiving me. And then in turn, I was perceiving myself. So, industries are changing faster than ever, and a personal brand allows you to adapt while staying relevant, positioning yourself as a forward-thinking leader. So if somebody is looking at you and then they're seeing your online presence, they're like, "Whoa, she takes initiative. She she has confidence, she knows what she's talking about." It helps create your persona more than you could ever do in person, I think. But let's go back to AI. AI content is incredible. People make a lot of money creating AI content, but they are missing out on this huge piece of the pie because there's no personal brand behind it at all. Once their content becomes irrelevant, or once that style, like AI is growing and is getting bigger and bigger, but people change what they want to see. People change how they view things, and if you're creating some AI rip-off type of content, people get sick of it and the viewing patterns change. So a personal brand allows you to adapt while staying relevant, which positions yourself as a forward-thinking leader. These AI tools, they can streamline your content creation, but they cannot replace human authenticity. The most successful brands are going to balance AI efficiency with genuine human connection. That human connection is huge, and it's always been the biggest part of what I it's always been the reason that I've made the money I've made. People always come to me and say, can I do this, and without showing my face?" Yeah, you can. It is going to take it is going to take longer for you to build any kind of connection because there is nobody for them to connect to. So people buy things from people that they can trust. And I am very authentic, and I'm authentic in my online presence. And so people do come to me because they feel like they can trust me. And if you're just doing straight AI, there's zero trust. There's nothing. Now in 2025, if you choose to ignore building the personal brand and you just want to model what works, or you just want to create your AI content, consequences of ignoring this personal branding at this point, at this day and age, you risk being perceived as generic or irrelevant in a competitive market. You have missed opportunities for career growth, partnerships, or leadership roles due to lack of visibility. You have limited influence and networking potential as people gravitate toward those with clear identities and values. Missed opportunities for career growth or leadership roles, and you'll have difficulty adapting to an evolving hiring practice that favors digital savvy candidates. Look, I get it. I'm 40, I'm going to be 48 years old. I think a lot of people my age, and definitely people that are older and still working, probably think, hopefully I can retire before all of this is relevant. It's relevant now. It starts today. You want to move up in your career, which you should. Who cares if you're 54? You still have minimum another 10 years at whatever company in the working field. Don't give up. Start your social media presence. Just start something. Pick a platform. Just start doing something. Talk about channels are my favorite. I love YouTube more than any platform. Instagram, I made all my money on, but YouTube is my favorite, is my passion. I would personally start a YouTube channel and just make videos about what you know. If you want to talk about what you do at work, teach somebody how to do stuff in Excel, teach somebody how to, I don't know, drive a forklift. Whatever your specialty is, there is somebody that is going to listen because they're going to connect with you because you are your brand. So, steps to build your personal brand. Take a self assess. You want to define your brand identity. So, reflect on your strengths, like I just spoke of, your passions and unique perspectives. What makes you different? We are all different. Don't say nothing. Something makes you different, okay? Something. And then what value can you offer to others? What do you have to offer? Something as simple as how to lace up your hockey skates. Hockey skates have to be tight. How to lace them up tight. Kids struggle. They cannot lace these stinking skates up. So parents are always having to go in there, but maybe you have a trick. I watched a video on how to wrap a hockey stick for my son, like how to put the tape at the end properly. There's a video, there's something for everybody. Everybody wants to know how to do something. Just look at what do I know how to do? Sit down, write a list of like 10 things. What do I know how to do? And then go back to that list of 10 things and say, what would I like to talk about? Because maybe Excel spreadsheets is your specialty, but maybe you hate it. Maybe you're so burnt out of doing spreadsheets that you don't want to teach anybody anything about them because you don't even want to look at them yourself. But maybe you want to talk about how to sharpen a lawnmower blade, like whatever your passion is. Maybe you know how to, I don't know, sew, whatever. Teach somebody something and get yourself comfortable being on camera, get yourself comfortable talking, and this is how you begin to build your brand. Identify your target audience. So, who do you want to reach? You want to understand your audience needs and preferences, help tailor your messages effectively. So, who's your ideal client? Even if you're not selling them anything, who are you trying to teach this to? Who would you ideally love to watch your video and get something out of it? Make a list of that. And then consistency. You want to maintain a unified tone, message, visual identity across all online platforms that you're on. It's going to build recognition and trust. So let's go back to you're just getting started on YouTube. People want to know what to expect from you. You can't just say, today I'm going to show you how to sharpen a lawnmower blade, and tomorrow I'm going to show you how to make chicken divine. Like it's so random and so all over the place that you will attract people that want to learn how to sharpen a lawnmower blade. But then if they subscribe to you and now you're teaching how to make chicken divine, they're probably going to unsubscribe. Well, wait, that's not why I followed this guy. So consistency. Let them know what to expect. And you want to tell an authentic story. Share your journey, your values, your lessons, and it will give a deeper connection. Why do you want to share how to make chicken divine? You've probably looked up a recipe before, and there's a whole thing before you can get to the damn ingredients about their story. When I was a little kid and we lived on a farm, and my father would send me to like milk the cow, and we would skim the fat off the milk, and then my mother would take that and make freaking cookies with it. I don't know. They tell their story because they're trying to connect with you. I would say probably 90% of the people slide right past that story, jump to recipe, but they're trying to give you a, hey, I'm a real person with a real story, and if you like me and you like my recipe, you might follow me, and then you're going to look at my next thing and my next thing, and then eventually they're going to make money off that person because you're probably going to click on one of their links if you're that into them. And then engage meaningfully. You want to build relationships by interacting with your audience. If somebody comments on your platform, on your video, absolutely reply to them. Reply to them with love. Give them a good, nice reply. And if they say something mean, which you kind of have to be prepared for because it does happen, I simply reply to them saying, thanks for the engagement either way. Somebody called me a scammer yesterday. I replied and said, thanks for the engagement. Because engagement, which is a comment on your video, engagement is going to boost your content out further. So they helped my video by insulting or trying to insult me. And then in turn, thanks for your engagement is my passive aggressive way of saying, joke's on you. You just helped me out, even though you tried to hurt my feelings. But always reply to every comment. And if somebody is giving you a positive comment, definitely just have a little, you know, have a little discussion in the comments if you can. And then leverage AI thoughtfully. AI tools are incredible. They're changing everything in our world that we have been used to. There's things that make everything so much easier. I'm actually reading a lot of these tips by having using AI. but you want to use them for efficiency. And then you want to ensure that your content reflects the authentic voice and personality. I'm looking at notes from AI that I asked it to give me, but I also am sharing little stories in between. I've given you a story here or there from my own experience, which is the personal brand side of this. And so don't miss out on where the future is heading. You do not want to wipe yourself out in an industry and then try and play catch up later. I feel like you're just giving up if you're not going to acknowledge that this is where the future is going to go. And whether you try and build this brand or not, it's reality. And to keep yourself relevant and keep yourself in the limelight, money loves attention. And if you have the most attention, you can't be ignored. And it's going to bring you a lot more success and a lot easier career moves. So I hope this was helpful. Leave us a comment down below. Oh, we missed you. And we'll see you next week, hopefully with both of us on the Bigger Room podcast.